What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. I'm David. One of your co-hosts. Today, we have a very busy show today. We have some clips from yesterday's digital asset hearing. We have news on a company, and are they an SEC crony? We're going to discuss that. Also, we're giving you some NFT insight. We have Honest joining us to give you some NFT alpha. What are some of the hottest projects to look out for? Also, the SEC has responded. They need another 4 months to figure out what to do with crypto. We have that, and we have much, much more. Also, Bitcoin, 19K. Is it going to break under 20K? We'll discuss that. But first, I'd like to discuss your co-host, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, well, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take all that old, boring, and, stale information and we repackage it up in entertaining, fun, sexy way. That's what we do here. And also, Bitcoin was under 25K. It's over 25K now. We back, baby.
Wow.
We back? Okay. Also, you know what else is back? This damn like sign. Don't make me say it. Visual cue. Thank you. Let's go.
Speaking of visual cues, the reason you're getting these visuals on your screen today is because we have strong internet and network. And the reason we have strong internet and network is because of channel sponsor, CAM's Blue Wire Technology. If you are running a business and you need some help with your networking or IT, or you're having problems, you want to maximize what you have, you're going to want to give them a call. They're going to take care of all that for you so you can focus on making money for your business. Visit BlueWireTech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Speaking of videos, I have a video. So, got a couple life hacks for you today. Life hack number 1. 2 things are needed. 1, a phone. 2, one of those blowy things that you have on birthdays. And you'll know what I'm talking about here in a second. That's pretty genius. I mean, at some point, do you run out of breath or?
No, that's just like, first of all, scrolling through social media is already one of the most degenerate, like, non-productive, lazy things you can possibly do.
What if she's a social media manager?
Productivity, you literally, like, your entire existence at this point is to say, I need to entertain myself.
What if?
Flip. Okay,
what
1 second video, 1 second video,
manager.
flip. And now you can't even do the finger thing anymore.
Life's about,
that's where we're going.
Life's about convenience, man.
You know, we used to sit down in restaurants. Now we just drive through them.
Sounds like you're
now
mad.
You don't even drive to the restaurant. You order it and they drive it to you now.
Sounds like you're mad.
That's what I'm saying is that society is going backwards, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Sounds like you're mad it wasn't your idea. Also, Sauce Boss said, that's not the blowy thing that I get on my birthday. Well, lucky for you. Also,
what's next? Is the lady going to have her parents
like
holding the phone? Like, here you go, son. Here you go, daughter. Why don't no need to even lift your hands or use breath.
It'll be voice commands. Also, another life hack, if you can't afford a first class seat, I'll just leave it at that. Just do what this person's doing here. And so this person has created a fort on an airplane. And so she starts by, she bought 3 economy seats and she's saran wrapping them. And, got to put a roof in. And, okay, this took some time. And obviously, people are noticing. And then, let me get in here and... And so,
what is happening?
Where are your rules? You're gonna see the rules.
Look how mad she gets when he breaks her fork.
Don't touch this, please. No. Help!
Help!
You need to take this off. Help me out! He hit me!
People are just never seem to not amaze me. And then also, I wonder who Joe Biden's advisors are, because they're advising him to do something that no human has ever done before. And, apparently he wants to build a railroad from the one ocean to the next ocean. And so,
stop. No, he does. No.
Shh.
Well, we're going to win and we're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. We have plans to build in Angola, one of the largest solar plants in the world. I can go on, but I'm not. I'm going off script. I'm going to get in trouble.
I'm going off script.
Was he gonna build a highway to the moon next? Like, what are you like? Come on, man! Like, get this man out of office, man. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
And
Be sad.
And I'm not even like Republican like through and through. Like I vote on your stance on crypto. I care less. I'm not sitting here like, well, he's Democrat, so he's got to get. No, the dude just old and senile, man. Talking about building a railroad across the ocean.
We are at peak.
He's like, we're going to tunnel from U.S. to Japan. It's going to be a quicker path. We're going to go right through the center of the earth. like this dude does not live on this earth anymore. His mind is somewhere else, bro.
This is the president of the United States of America.
All right. I want to say a couple things to the chat. If you are new here, say hello so that way we can give you a shout out. Also, all right, here we go. Couple new people. We have Bobby Black, Dan Grant, also Servania, Crypto Locks, Rob the Crypto Snob, and then also Crypto Golfer as well. So to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Talk said floating train tracks. Yeah. You
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Can't get us people back on the moon, but we have floating train tracks. Anyways,
Miguel Costa says he's going to build a Jesus train that runs on water.
Or you can have Moses just part the seas. But we did have some big news today. So today we're talking about, saw the thumbnail, 19,000 for Bitcoin. It's a number, it's below the 20K. I don't think it's going to happen. See what Robin says. But this might change your answer if you did think it's going to go under 20K. Blackrock, one of the largest asset management companies in the world with over $8 trillion, one point it was over $10 trillion, is now investing largely into Bitcoin. Last year, they made large investments into crypto, but backed off some after the SEC went after crypto companies. Now, they're putting a lot of stake in Bitcoin. What do they know that we don't? And what is this referencing? This is referencing the news that BlackRock is getting ready to file for a Bitcoin ETF. Couple things to note here. BlackRock has not confirmed these allegations, but every relevant news media outlet is reporting on it. And also, we don't know, is it going to be a spot or a futures ETF? I cannot imagine it being a futures ETF. I would assume it is a spot ETF. And I would also like to share a tweet that was tweeted by none other than, Sin City Crypto. And I can't find it. Right here. So this was tweeted this today. It said, exit Rob Stradamus and enter Dave Stradamus. Prophecy seen months ago is
Dave Stradamus
coming to fruition as news broke that BlackRock is filing for a Bitcoin ETF. Now, I was on this show months ago.
Really?
And
you
yes,
sure?
I was.
Wow.
And I said the SEC is clearing the way for someone like Goldman Sachs, and I said BlackRock to file for a spot ETF and get approved. Mm-hmm. And you laughed at me and called me a conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you got to say now?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
remember
funny.
that.
Your memory is so good.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna try to call out some, if you're gonna sit here tweet about how much smarter you are than me on predictions, and you're gonna come in here and say you push back on this idea, this is what you're supposed to do, okay? Before the show starts, you scroll through, you find the info, you clip it, and then you bring it in here and you're like, look what I found. Look, this is what you said. So until you have some visual proof, I don't believe it. I think you might
help me out here. Community, I need your help. Help me find that clip.
I'm not saying, I'll be honest with you, Dave. Whoever
finds that clip, I will send you $50 in Bitcoin.
I'm not saying that I didn't say that.
You said it.
But I don't remember saying that.
Of course you don't. Why would
Until
you?
I see the visual proof, I'm not gonna subscribe to that idea, because I think it is very likely that BlackRock does launch a Bitcoin ETF, and perhaps I had a different mindset then, and perhaps you framed that question or narrative in the previous
it always
way.
Comes down.
That
Robin is the master word manipulator. That's what he is.
That perhaps conversation was taken out of context. The answer was taken out of context. I'm just saying that I want to look at the video before you go over here and start accusing me of illegitimate prophecies, because I know
illegitimate prophecy.
I know the direction of my brain, and
yeah, you sure?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you do.
But anyways, let's get back to the article here.
You think it's gonna be a spot or a futures ETF?
It's a spot for sure. It's still speculation. Now, it's covered by multiple media outlets, so it seems to be hard to believe that all of these media sources would all run the same article with if it was fake or there was nothing to it. But this wouldn't be the first time, right? Hey, there's an explosion outside the Pentagon. Oh, all of a sudden, all the media outlets are running that. Hey, generated by AI. It's not even real. And so take it with a grain of salt, still speculation. And I would also not be surprised if this is a chess move for BlackRock. And they're like, hey, we're about to launch this spot Bitcoin ETF. And then the WEF or the SEC, somebody's like, hey, man, how about you don't do that? And here's a good reason why. Maybe it's an incentive of money or power or positioning against other companies. And so maybe what starts off as, hey, Bitcoin ETF coming from BlackRock, and maybe it is true, but maybe it never comes because the stronger forces, the evil empire, conspires against crypto and Bitcoin. And we know that right now there is a fight. There's a fight against crypto. There is institutions that are being persuaded to...
If BlackRock
every institution in the U.S. got booted out.
If BlackRock comes in and says, we want a spot ETF, you think Gary Gensler is going to say, actually, get in the back of the line, or, oh, no, we're not doing that yet. Hell no. BlackRock?
They are not. Okay, what I just said, if you break down what I said that they're going to be persuaded. I didn't say they were going to be threatened to be shut down. When a company is that big, that's not how you operate. That's not how you persuade them not to go through a business venture. You know what you say to them? You say, hey, you know, BlackRock, you got a lot of power. Obviously, we're not going to try to shut you down or sue you, but wouldn't you want to be the leader of, say, this sector? Or wouldn't you want to have more of a platform in AI? Wouldn't you have more discussion in this section?
ETF.
Or perhaps your entire business model is built off of mortgages and housing, and perhaps we could play around with the regulation a little bit so that your business model makes more money from top to bottom. Just leave this crypto thing alone because we're fighting a battle.
We want a spot ETF.
I'm not.
Then what?
No. What I'm saying, all I'm saying is that it is, if that's their narrative, they want to start a spot Bitcoin ETF, sure. But if you think that there's zero chance that, hey, if BlackRock decides they want to do a Bitcoin ETF, you think there's zero chance that there's going to be coercion and influence from the IMF, from the WEF, from the SEC, from the executive branch?
BlackRock is the one who runs those. BlackRock runs the WEF. They run all that.
But they run it in. They're all intertwined, and so. The IMF does not want crypto. They don't want it in.
If BlackRock says they do, they do. That's the thing. Literally, the U.S. government, who do they pick up the phone and call when they needed a bailout in 2008? BlackRock. Hey, BlackRock, do us a favor. Can you bail these banks out? Sure, no problem.
They work in conjunction with different branches. And so if the other branches and other organizations around the world are against crypto, you don't think that they're going to incentivize BlackRock not to play in those games?
Watch. BlackRock gets a spot ETF approved, and all of a sudden now the narrative changes from the IMF, from the whatever, and someone clip this part because in 6 months from now,
that there is a more likelihood chance, there is a better chance that the BlackRock passes, or not passes, that they go through the process. If they're serious about passing a spot Bitcoin ETF, sure, I think it makes logistical sense for them. It's a good time. You come in at the bottom of the market. You capitalize the entire digital crypto space. It makes a ton of sense. But at the same time, they are in the same room with the people trying to destroy crypto. And if you think that they're gonna absolutely no way whatsoever, no shape or form, if you don't think that they can say, hey, we just got a fucking killer offer from the IMF to grow our business tenfold by not touching crypto.
They don't need an offer from the IMF. They are the largest asset manager in the world. Why the hell do they need an offer from the IMF? Are you high?
You could say the same
They're
thing.
the ones that call the IMF and tell them what to do.
If that's your premise, David, then why are they even launching a Bitcoin ETF? Because they want
still
more
gotta
money?
play by the rules.
But no, I'm
What do you
asking,
mean?
if you're saying they're the largest asset manager and they don't need any more money and power because they're so big, why the hell would they offer Bitcoin
I never
services?
said they don't need any more money and power.
Okay.
They found a void in the market that the SEC created, and they're trying to fill that void, and they're trying to take over.
And I
agree.
agree.
They understand, and
I agree. But all I'm saying is that don't be surprised if the global powers coerce them to leave it alone. That's all I'm saying. So you think BlackRock operates 100% independent and it has no influence from any global power? You don't think that BlackRock even entertains the thoughts of the IMF and the WEF and the SEC? You think they just no, we don't listen to any of those. How do you think they got into power? They had handshakes and they had buddy deals with all of those same people. And so those same people that got them to the position they're at are going to be like, don't forget how you got here.
You know how they got there? It's not a surprise that after the 2008 financial crisis, when the U.S. government picked up the phone, BlackRock literally tripled and after that, they became the world's #1 asset manager in the entire world.
And it wasn't from them growing their own business little by little, brick by brick. They got handouts and they got favorable treatment from global powers.
It's about where they are right now. And they control.
And how did they get there? You think they just had a mom and pop business that they grew naturally, slowly, and without the help of the government?
You're talking about handshake deals
David,
they made.
Let me ask
Hold
you.
on.
Let me ask
You're
you
talking about why can't I say this word? Handshake deals they made when they were a $2 trillion asset management company to the ones they're making at $10 trillion. Completely different landscape.
Okay, what I want to know is why are we arguing about? I don't know why you're taking such offense to. You operate with absolute certainty that things you operate in this mindset that there's no way ever in the history of humankind that a large bank can go under. You operate and if I say, well, there's a chance, there's a small chance that a large bank can go under, you're like, absolutely not. You don't understand. We print money to infinity. Like all I'm saying, and this even argument is stupid. And all I'm saying is that hey, they could backtrack on their Bitcoin ETF. That's all I'm saying. And it's like,
I think if they want to do it, they're going to do it.
Okay, first of all, the whole premise is speculation. If they came out and had a press release and said, "Hey, we've officially submitted an application to apply for a Bitcoin ETF," if they were that serious as you say, that there's no way they'll ever change their mind. Do you think they would leak this information out? If they wanted to apply for a Bitcoin ETF, they would apply for a Bitcoin ETF. Why would they leak the news that they applied for a Bitcoin ETF?
What does that have anything to do with the conversation?
The conversation is there's no way. I don't even know what the hell we're arguing about. I'm honest, bro. Honestly, I have no idea what the hell we're arguing about. The whole thing, I think honestly, I think this is a very interesting topic that we should be covering. And I think that, in all honesty, we're wasting time. We're wasting our viewers' time talking about the fact that, are they serious? Are they going to actually do it? It's all speculation. Let's speculate on what happens next. What happens if they do get a Bitcoin ETF passed? Or what happens if they submit it? First of all, if they submit a Bitcoin ETF, will it pass?
Yes.
Because historically, every single one before has not. I agree. I think they have enough power, and I think they have enough stability that the SEC's counter argument is that, well, one, Bitcoin's too volatile, but I feel like the asset managers that were going to control this, maybe the ecosystem that is Bitcoin, the market cap that is Bitcoin, is just a little too large, right? And it's subject to manipulation. But one company that could withstand manipulation would be BlackRock, or withstand it and then control it themselves. And my question here is not will it pass, but is this a net positive or negative for crypto? Because now you have the evil empire, BlackRock, right? Let's call it as it is.
They literally created ESG.
Yeah. You could take the evil empire and you can either have crypto be adopted, but be operated and run by people that we're trying to get away from, right? We're trying to get away from the banks. We're trying to get away from institutional control. We're trying to get away from government control and inflation. And the one tool that we've created that is pretty goddamn successful at this thing, at this whole narrative.
It's successful.
Yes. The one thing that is progressive in our monetary system, our private monetary system, it sounds like they want to capitalize on that. And can you have global adoption? Can you have Bitcoin and crypto grow to where we imagine it will be without the biggest banks and the biggest asset managers taking their fair share? I don't think it's possible. Is it good for our space? Will crypto even be crypto? Or will it be a privatized CBDC of sort? Because they could make it that if they really wanted it to. Is it a positive? Is it negative? I mean, what do you think? Are you excited about the opportunity? It'll elevate the price of Bitcoin. Sure. It'll make more money, but you're selling your soul.
If you want crypto adoption, right? If you don't want to wait 50 years, then you need stuff like this to happen, right? But I don't know. We can't stop it, right? Like I mentioned, they're the most powerful company in the world. I mean, they created ESG for God's sake, and that has put companies out of business because they can't get funding because of the rules they put in place, something governments have adopted. And so I just think BlackRock is powerful to the point where they want to do it, man. They're going to do it. I don't think anyone can stop them. The SEC, no one.
They're the biggest player in our space, but they also sit at the dinner table with presidents, with prime ministers, with princes, and they deal with those people. And all I'm saying is that if you think they sit at the table with those people and they ignore everybody, you're mistaken, because they got to where they're at by making deals and having those handshakes. They didn't grow this business that they have by working their butt off. They knew the right people. And people call in favors, man. And I'm telling you, right now there is a war against crypto and Bitcoin. I mean, do you not agree that there's a war against crypto? Not just here in the States, but I'm talking about globally. I mean, China they booted crypto out. And now they're slowly letting a little bit back in through institutions, right? Through privy investors in certain jurisdictions in Hong Kong. And the United States is pretty damn close to doing the same thing, right? The only thing they haven't booted out was the miners. And
they technically tried.
It's a global effort. You see that El Salvador's credit rating got downgraded. They got threatened. They were getting bullied to say, hey, if you don't ditch this Bitcoin thing, you're not gonna get money from us. Basically, is what they were threatening. And what it is traditional finance does not want crypto here. And yeah, that's it, man.
You say traditional finance doesn't want crypto?
They do not want crypto. They don't want it. It messes with their business model.
But here's the thing.
If you sell weed in the streets and you're the biggest weed dealer out here and you got a multi-million-dollar empire, all your family is living lavish, and you're selling weed, and all of a sudden the state comes in and legalizes it, that's not good for your business model, right? All of a sudden you're like, oh crap. Like,
yeah, but you understand that understand that Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix, right?
But they weren't trying to make videos illegal. They're trying to make crypto illegal. So why don't you take that thought? Look at Prohibition. Who were the richest people during that era? Were people that were selling alcohol because the government didn't allow it. And this is no different. You have the government now is trying to say, hey, we're trying to make crypto illegal. And so you're going to have a couple rogue agents out here that are going to be offering crypto. or it's going to go overseas. In the same way that alcohol sales went overseas, people didn't want to move to the States because they weren't no alcohol. U.S. was like, this is a bad idea.
What I'm saying is, if you're seeing a shift in your business model, you either have two choices. You either step up to the plate and overhaul what you're doing, which is what Facebook and Meta did, or you try to buy out the company, or you just fall by the wayside like Blockbuster. I think as time goes on and as companies start to move their businesses onto the blockchain, these companies are going to have they're going to be faced with a decision. We tried that's the whole thing, and Mark Yusko talked about this on our show. They first ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Right now they're trying to fight us, and at some point they're going to realize, okay, we can't win. Let's try to take our share of this market and really position ourselves.
The problem,
and what a better opportunity than when the SEC is wiping a majority of the central entities, the tokens off the face of the planet, off the face of our industry. What better way to swoop in? And I think that's what's happening.
You can absorb failing businesses and grow in the same way you're saying. Your Blockbuster or your Netflix or your Radio Shack or Circuit City, as companies fail, the more progressive, forward-thinking companies can absorb the competition, and they can take their customer and the user base, right? And they can grow. But that business, that market does not work. That ideology does not work if it's illegal. That's it. You can sit here and be like, hey, we want to be a competitor to Las Vegas and offer gambling, but if gambling's illegal everywhere else, you can't build the casinos. So it doesn't matter if you have a $1 trillion and you're in Florida, in Miami, if you can't legally operate a casino, you can't run that business. And so you can be a company in America and you can say there's a lot of money in crypto because the SEC booted them out. That's because it's illegal. And so nothing happens here. Nothing happens. Companies do not buy crypto if it's illegal.
Crypto's not illegal.
They're in the process of making it illegal. That's my whole point. They kicked out, they're suing Coinbase. They kicked out Bittrex. They kicked out Gemini, essentially. They're shutting down Binance.us. You can't even put dollars in there. I mean, what else do you need? They shut down Silvergate. They shut down Signature Bank. Give me one company that operates in crypto that is having a tremendous amount of success right now in the States.
Doesn't mean it's illegal.
I didn't say it was illegal. I said it's going that direction. That is where we are going. What else has to happen for you to think that they're trying to kill crypto in the States?
I definitely think they're trying to kill crypto.
Then what is the kill shot? If you think they're trying to kill crypto, what is the kill shot? It is illegal.
I think it's going to get there. I think it's too many proponents of crypto that are currently in.
I think that they'll say that Bitcoin is a commodity. It is not crypto. Everything else is a security, and maybe the exception of Ethereum or maybe a couple other, and then everything else will be shut out, and you will not be able to purchase that here in the States unless you VPN and illegally purchase it. I'm not saying that American citizens won't own crypto, but it's not going to be allowed via the government. And so you can make weed illegal. I'm not saying that American citizens aren't going to smoke their weed, but I'm just saying that's the direction that we are going. If you had a circuit breaker or Jurassic Park and they're shutting down each little freaking sector one by one, they're like, okay, on-ramps off. Okay, exchanges running the U.S. off. Staking off. Like there's the crypto Bitcoin ETF, spot Bitcoin ETF off. Like little by little, they're shutting down every aspect of crypto. And if you don't think that's happening, wake the hell up, bro. It is happening in front of us. And you literally told me 4, 5, 6 times in the last 2 months, maybe we should move to Portugal. Why the hell would we move to Portugal? Because they are killing crypto. They're trying to make it illegal. And at the end of the day, the only thing you're going to have is a Bitcoin ETF, a Bitcoin ATM in the ghetto. That's all you're going to have. At the end of the day, you're going to go to that ghetto-ass gas station. You're going to put $100 in a Bitcoin machine, and that's the only way you're going to get some crypto. That's it. Other than that, everything else is gonna be tombstoned.
Watch how things change when BlackRock steps into the fold. But we're going to move on to some market news. So we have a crypto market cap at $1 trillion. 24-hour volume is up. We've seen it hover around that $30 to $35 billion, even dip below $30 billion. We're sitting at 43.5, Bitcoin dominance still at 47.7, ETH dominance at 19.4, Bitcoin over 25K. It was briefly under 25K, but that's kind of rallied back up a little bit. ETH over the last 24 hours down 4.5%. I do want to show 24-hour liquidations here. Over $60 million in ETH has been liquidated over the last 24 hours. Who was it in our Discord? Was it Redman? Redman said something like, there's going to be a big dump in Bitcoin. This was a few days ago. And we saw that big dip. We know there was a lot of money that was transferred to Coinbase, and you put two and two together. Why would anyone move millions of dollars from a hardware wallet to Coinbase? Well, probably because they want to sell it. And so it does seem like that's what happened. But on the ETH chart, we're still looking kind of good, actually, believe it or not. So this would be, in my opinion, this would be a great entry point for Ethereum. You can see here we bounce right off of the upper part of this cloud. I mean, like to the T, to the absolute T. We're still green. This is on the daily again on Ethereum. This is on the 3-day on Ethereum. So this level right here, the 16, 17 level, we did wick down there, but bounced right back up. Something to look for, the first level of support resistance I'd watch out for is 1775, which is this blue conversion line here. That is a 9-day moving average. That's the first place I would look at. And the second place I would look at is right here, this horizontal level coming in at $1,910. That also kind of coincides with the baseline, which is the red one. It's a 26-day moving average. So those are some levels to look out for. But again, cloud has proven to be an extremely reliable trend indicator and support and resistance zones when it comes to the clouds. As far as Bitcoin goes, this is Bitcoin on the weekly. Still trading within the cloud, which is, in my opinion, with everything going on right now, is a positive. Also, what we're seeing form here is a bull flag, right? Big move up, which is your pull, and then your flag is this little downtrending channel that we got going on here, this rectangular channel. So one thing to look out for, if we do start to break below, you're looking at, depending on when, I would assume, unless something catastrophic happens where Bitcoin's the floor just falls out, we're looking at a smidge above 20K, which is why I believe, or I don't believe, that we are going to get to 19K. I don't think we're going to get to under 20K. I think 20K is going to be, if we do see mass liquidations or something happening in the crypto space, whether it's a Black Swan event or whatever the case may be, I think 20K, this lower level is cloud here, $20.4 thousand would be our bottom. And if we, for some reason, happen to break the cloud and go below, something big happened, Binance got shut down, Tether depegged drastically, or got something like that, which I don't see it happening probability-wise, but you never know. 19K, yeah or no?
Yeah, I think we are the one Black Swan event away. And
that's a great analysis, actually, right there. I was thinking the same exact thing.
19K made the soul escape my soul. Something like that. So we're one Black Swan event, right? That's it. And I mean, we can sit here and speculate and be like, well, this thing. Every couple months, there's a Black Swan event. During a bull market, there's so much money in the system, and people are making so much that you get pullbacks, right? But you quickly rally through those. But there's always a Black Swan event every couple months.
Then it wouldn't be a Black Swan event. A Black Swan event is something you see.
No. It's something you can't foresee.
When was the last time you saw an actual Black Swan?
You ever go to Sunset Park?
There's no Black Swans at Sunset Park.
Well, you haven't been there long enough. If you just look at the crypto markets only for 2 weeks, you're not going to see a Black Swan.
Yeah, okay.
But if you live here and you're here every day like we are, every once in a while you see a black swan. If you hang out at the park here, and you go there every day, maybe next year, you'll see a black swan. All right, so the black swan event, right? It happens over and over again. It happens in life. Things happen. You can say, "Oh, the war in Ukraine. We never thought that was coming." That was just the next big story. It's just what happens. There's always the next giant story, and until that happens, we're going to talk about the previous one. So right now we're talking about Ukraine, but there's going to be another black swan, and globally something else is going to happen. Before Ukraine, it was the vaccine. Before that, it was COVID. Before that, it was I don't know. But there's always, and the same thing with crypto, man. It was Three Arrows Capital. It was Terra Luna. And then it was FTX. And if you think that there's going to be no black swans, or if you're sitting here saying, well, the price would only dump if this closes. Well, that's the black swan. And it's going to happen. And the thing is these events happen. Now, they don't happen with certain regularity. You don't sit here and say, well, we're due for one because we haven't had one in 2 months. No. And maybe we go a whole year without one. But I think realistically, you should expect damning, unfavorable news that drops a couple times a year. And when those things happen, you're going to have a big pull down in the market. When the liquidity and the volume is not there, Bitcoin had a little bit of a bear market rally. It's pulling back right now as we're speaking. We were at 30K a couple weeks ago, right? We're at 25. What direction are we going? What happens when you get another and the liquidity is getting pulled? And what happens when the liquidity gets pulled and prices are dropping? I'm not even talking about our crypto market. I'm just saying in general, just the thesis of how markets move. What happens when a price is dropping and you pull liquidity? It keeps dropping. You don't pull liquidity in a market that is falling and all of a sudden you get a rally. That's not how it works. That's not how markets work. And everything is pointing to liquidity getting pulled. They're shutting down exchanges. That's what's going to happen. So I think that the pullback is coming. I think we will go down to 19,000. And I think that we are a couple black swan events from happening. And maybe it's some kind of ugly ass regulation that gets, or ugly ass verdict in a court case, or something just profound that punches us in the stomach.
Fly Monkey said, can a black swan event be a good event? Creates opportunity, that's for sure.
Yeah. And at the same time, for every negative event that you get, these big ones, there's also positive ones. In the same way, you get these extremely bullish events. And during a bull market, those bullish events catapult the market. And at the same time, in the bull market, those negative events cause a little pullback, and then you continue on. But when the trend is trending downward, these bullish events only get you so much of a rally. We talk about it all the time. Oh, this should be bigger news, but we're in a bear market. That's just because you know the direction of the market. So when the bullish news comes out, doesn't rally so much into the positive, but at the same time, with the bearish news, you'll get a bigger pullback. And I think that we extended a little bit off of our low, 16K. We had a nice little bounce. Liquidity's getting pulled. A couple big stories away from 19K.
Are you with me or Robin? 19K, yes, 1. 19K, no, 2. Yes, 1, no, 2. Let us know in the comment section.
And then also, we got a few new people here. If you are new, say hello so that way we can drop an whole lot back at you. We have Philippe Lima, also James Armstrong, Jay Limbo, and Terry Toucan, FUD Expert, and BU Sandeman, Pedro O'Neill to the moon, Osaric, Effin Mazda, KRP DeFi, who is also my Portuguese brother, he says. What's up, dude? Hola! And also, Andre Brown, James A. and Sly Monkey. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, do us a favor, hit that like button. Do you like the show today? Because you know what? We're pretty bearish. Pretty bearish. But I love crypto. Today is the only bearish day. Tomorrow, I will bring the juice.
Couple of super chats also. Biomex, $2 super chat, said, heard of 88 inmates help a brother break out.
Chill.
I believe...
Chill.
What?
Chilling projects.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I think they're coming on our show.
Chill.
It's not a shill.
Chill.
Elliot Locke also, $5, said, tinfoil hat time. Could the Black Swan event be starting with the two stable coins that lost their peg yesterday? He's talking about Tether. It went to 99.7 cents. Technically, I guess that's losing your peg, but I mean, I was going to show an article today, but Tether, time and time again, however, whatever they started at, right? However they started, whether it was a shell company or money, whatever it is, I feel like they've kind of gotten themselves in a position to where they are what they say they are. We've seen massive runs on Tether. We've seen when everything collapsed and stable coins, they held strong. Nothing happened to them. People kept redeeming. They've been fine. In fact, their market cap has continued to grow. I think Tether's fine. Now,
they have so much money. I'm not to say that they're bulletproof, but everyone associates algorithmic stablecoin and losing peg to this. This is just liquidity provided onto the markets. And so if you sell enough of your crypto, if you cash out enough of your stablecoin or sell enough of your stablecoin, the price will move. And then what happens? Tether says, "Here, exchange. Here's some more dollars." And then what happens to the price? It goes right back. Now, the only time this ends up being an issue, the only time hypothetically it would become a catastrophic issue, is that if everybody sells and then Tether or the institutions like, here's some more crypto, but they don't have the crypto, they don't actually have the dollars because, say, they printed, a stable coin they didn't have backing of. That's when it becomes a problem. But their market cap, what is the market cap of Tether?
over 80 billion.
Over $80 billion. So if hypothetically, what do you think is the ugliest possible number Tether could have for a gap in how much money they have? You know what I mean? Let's just say that
under 53 billion.
So you think the worst possible number is that they're 30% in the hole?
Are you talking? Oh, you're talking about to the.
Yeah. How much money do you think they have in reserve compared to what their market cap is?
So we know they have 53 billion in treasury securities, but their market cap is 82 billion.
So do you don't think they have any other cash on hand? I'm just saying, what is the absolute worst? Like, if you were just like dumbfounded, surprised, like, wow, they only had this much money. What do you think that compared to their market cap is? I would say they probably, worst case scenario, have $70 billion. And I think that is a far.
It's way more than enough.
Well, I'm not even saying enough, but I'm just saying I think I don't think it's possible that they have less than $70 billion. I think that they legit have in reserves backing 1-to-1 at least $70 billion. And I think realistically, it's probably closer to 80. It's probably 79. It's probably 80. They claim to be fully backed all the way up to the 83 billion. But I think that it's probably closer to 79. So the real
question is how much of that is liquid. That's the thing.
Yeah, but even if it's in short-term treasury bonds, you can still sell those, right?
Well, that's very liquid. But outside of short-term.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
outside of 90-day T-bills, what else do they have in it? And how liquid is it?
So you would have to sell within the course of a month $70 billion for you to put at risk some kind of issue, right?
I don't think it's practical, bro.
That's where I'm getting. That's where I'm getting at. It's not. Now, I never subscribe to the idea that anything's too big to fail. You never know. I mean, you can look at banks and be like, well, we have a risk-free asset, treasury bills, and you can look at, there's always a way that you can fuck up. There's always a way. And so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But realistically, Tether ain't going nowhere.
I agree.
It's pretty damn big. And if it were to go somewhere, it got tested before during the FTX or during the bear market fall when FTX happened. We saw Circle come under fire. A lot of people were selling the USD or USDC, and I don't know, man. I think that if there was going to be tested and if it did fail, that was the moment, and it didn't happen. And so if it were to fail, I would say the same thing again. I think after the next bull market, when you do get a pullback, perhaps maybe then.
I do want to share some good news, especially if you're a Voyager creditor, as you will have access to your money as soon as in 5 days. So June 20th, the Voyager app is set to reopen for customer withdrawals. And so if you have money locked on there, around June 15th, the Voyager app would be updated to show the amount available for withdrawal. So today, you should be able to open up your Voyager app and at least see, okay, I have this much available to withdraw, with the withdrawals beginning to start being active on June 20th. It says somewhere between June 20th and July 5th. That is when they're going to start. Obviously, you're not going to get 100% back. I think the number I saw was 35.72%, which I know sounds like a little, guys, but to just kind of, looking at it from a glass half full thing, if you were to have access to 35% of something, right, of 100%, you're not happy, but at least it's now when Bitcoin's at 25K, ETH is at 1,600, Polygon's at 56 cents, Cardano's at 25 cents. You could take that 350 of the $1,000 you had, or the 35,000 or the $100,000 you had, and you can literally make all that money back in the next year and a half. And so look at it from a positive way. At least you're getting something back. I know it's not what you originally, but in life, we pay for lessons. Some lessons are more expensive than others, but that is some good news for you guys. Now, I did want to talk about something that's kind of a hot button topic is this company called Promethium. I didn't know about this company. I haven't even heard about it prior to yesterday when I decided to sit down and watch the entirety of the digital asset hearing from the House of Representatives. And I have a couple videos I want to share with you. Then we're going to dig into really what it is they're doing. And let's take a look here. So this is the first video I want to show. So I'm showing this part of the video. This is an exchange with Maxine Waters and I believe co-founder of Promethium, which his name is Aaron Kaplan. I want you to just listen to his responses and answers and draw your own conclusion.
Mr. Kaplan, while Democrats are taking a serious look at the Republicans' market structure bill, I'm deeply concerned that some of the most basic investor protections are missing from the bill. First, any commingling of investor funds must be strictly prohibited. We saw with the collapse of FTX that much of the fraud and investor harm came from the commingling of customer funds, which enabled CEO Bankman-Fried to steal his customers' property. The bill also seems to permit trading facilities to trade against their own customers and engage in other activities prohibited by today's security laws. Do you agree that commingling of customer funds should be prohibited? Will your firm commingle customer assets, Mr. Kaplan?
Our firm will not commingle customer firms and customer assets with that of the firm. Our model does not have proprietary trading or market-making activities. Thus, customer assets will not be commingled with firm assets because in that sense, there are no firm assets. And customer assets will be properly segregated as outlined by Securities and Exchange Act Rule 15C3.3. Now, when it comes to the investor protections of the federal securities laws, we saw the dangers of what happens when they're not in place with FTX. The federal securities laws would have done the most in terms of preventing an FTX-like situation. They ensure fair and orderly markets. They ensure that markets are not manipulated. They ensure that you can't trade against your customers' accounts necessarily. They also ensure proper segregation of customer funds and assets from that of the firm. These were major issues when it came to FTX, and they could have been prevented had there been proper regulation and oversight with the SEC. So in order for the best route going forward, I think the best way to protect the American public is with the application of the federal securities laws, which are purpose-built to protect investors. There's literally no need to recreate the wheel here.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's a stance. And throughout the entire thing, it was more of that. And then we have, this is Congressman Flood, and this is what he had to say about Mr. Promethium.
Mr. Nickel, I now recognize myself for 5 minutes. I'd like to start by to read a question from a comment letter that Promethium sent in response to the SEC's December 2020 Special Purpose Broker-Dealer Framework. Quote, "The definition of a digital asset security as used in the proposal is a digital asset that meets the definition of a security under the federal securities laws. This definition puts a burden on the industry to determine which digital assets are securities. As a result, we believe the clarity is needed to understand the regulatory framework they must comply with," end quote. That was in a letter dated April 26 from Promethium, specifically signed by Benjamin S. Kaplan, co-CEO of the company. I offer this into the record without objection. This concern, which Promethium themselves raised in 2020, probably sounds familiar for those who track this committee closely. It is the exact same concern we've heard from witnesses in front of this committee before. How can a broker-dealer register if they don't know which assets are a security and which are not? Further, it makes the same argument that other firms have made, that the lack of clarity from the SEC puts an undue burden on the industry. Mr. Kaplan, in your testimony, you were very confident that no new legislation is needed in the digital asset space to clarify this question. What has changed between the date of this letter in 2021 and when your firm called for clarity and now? What has changed?
Over the 2+ years since that time, there's been additional enforcement actions and statement by the SECs, which have clarified any questions that we had in regards to the designation of a digital asset as a security.
Mr. Kaplan, Promethium's website says that Promethium ATS supports, quote, many tokens that mostly trade on crypto exchanges, end quote. I'd like to dig in on that just a little bit. Can Promethium customers trade in Ether? If your answer is yes, please explain how.
Not currently.
Can Promethium customers trade in Bitcoin? If your answer is yes, please explain how.
No.
Just for the audience at home's benefit, Ether and Bitcoin make up more than 60% of the digital asset market. Mr. Kaplan, given that either Ether and Bitcoin make up more than 60% of the digital asset market, if the current system is working, why can't your customers trade the most popular and widely used digital assets?
Regulation and new ATSs and custodians should take a crawl, walk, run approach, and essentially they will proceed to add additional assets and abilities as time goes on. I'd like to point out when the...
I'm going to reclaim my time. Mr. Kaplan, did Promethium receive any additional exemptive relief from the SEC that has not been publicly shared?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. Promethium's special purpose broker-dealer license does not address the core issue. There is not a consistent definition of a digital asset security within current law. This point was made obvious when Chair Gensler could not say definitively whether Ether is a digital asset security when asked by Chairman McHenry in this very room a couple months ago. In other words, that same question that Promethium themselves raised in their 2021 comment letter is still unanswered. That's why legislation is needed. That's the problem that the chairman's bill works to solve. To testify in front of our committee that your company's charter, which only allows for trading in a very small subset of assets, is evidence that no legislation is needed, just doesn't make sense.
Mic
If
drop.
anything, the fact that Promethium's customers cannot trade some of the most popular digital assets is an illustration of the broader problem, Mr. Kaplan. I yield back.
Bam, mic drop. So a little background about, and I'm going to share this through a tweet, a little background about Promethium. So here are the founders of Promethium. So I'm sharing a tweet from Matt Walsh at Matt Walsh in BOS. So this is their executive team. Okay, so you have father, son, son. Okay, so this is the guy who was just speaking. Yes, he does look like that Karate Kid dojo guy, Silver. Silver. And this was their previous history. They're all attorneys for, guess what? The SEC. And so I will post this thread link so you guys can go read it. But people are discovering information, some things that point to them getting favorable treatment from the SEC. But Robin, what are your thoughts on everything we just heard? My thing is, this dude is an extension of the SEC, right? They had the ties are there. They got a special purpose broker dealer license, but they can't even offer Bitcoin or ETH. And then you have Coinbase, who has an actual broker dealer license that's still dormant because the SEC won't let them activate it. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Oh. Okay. I'm 50-50 on what the motives are. Promethium. What was it? Promethium or
Promethium.
Promethium. I'm a little, I'd say 50-50 on it. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I could see that there's not much wiggle room in crypto right now as far as offering services in the States. But we can get our foot in the door. We can offer products this way or that way. And we can be one of the very few, if any, one company that has the backing from the SEC that has a footprint in digital assets. And it being the market, if you're, once regulation starts to lighten up a little bit, let's say, you're going to be right there, already ready to go, already a household name, already have the broker license. And so I think that's one way of looking at it. Or could it just be, hey, this is a company that is operating with the SEC, or at least in the interest of the SEC and other government agencies? I can see that as well. Either way, I'm not exactly sure. But I do want to say this, though. This is what I want to say. First person that asked that man a question, or the person that you brought up first, Maxine Waters. It's very interesting. So what did she say there? She referenced not having assets commingled, not misappropriating customer funds, right? That's what she said, right? Mm-hmm. And she referenced FTX. It's very strange, though, to me, how she's over here referencing FTX, and hey, let's not have that happen again.
I know what you're going to show.
When she is, look at this, Maxine Water dodges questions on FTX. This gets deeper too.
You got to show that picture.
So
didn't she blow him a kiss?
I get there. Democrats claim, okay. So what happens? Okay, so what they're saying is that, hey, you got paid off by FTX, and you know what her answer was? First of all, she dodges the questions and says, well, we're not the only ones who got paid. Republicans did too.
Well,
okay, so you have somebody that's getting accused of being funded by a company that misappropriated funds. This is her words, literally, just now, just 2 days ago. This is her words. She's saying a company misappropriated funds, commingled assets, that company, we don't want that to happen. But yet she's here saying, oh, yeah, we did get paid, but Republicans did too. And let's not forget that she blew a man a kiss here. Now, why do I even have a still picture here? Well, in case you're wondering, if you decide to Google Maxine Waters blows a kiss to Sam Bankman-Fried, it's been scrubbed. There is not one video.
How'd you find that
Not
picture?
one video, not 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 one video. It does not exist. Why does it not exist? I don't even know. I'll leave the speculation up to you, but you don't even have a video of my homegirl here blowing Sam Bankman-Fried a kiss or throwing him a cucumber. I don't freaking know. And so I did find one video. It's on Rumble, of course. Yeah, so I found one. So there it is. She blew my man a kiss. Bye. And so I found in the Rumble archives, and here's him. He was walking by, blowing him a kiss. It admitted she got money from him, but says, well, it's cool. I mean, we're not the only ones that got money. Republicans got money too. And yet her opening statement when it comes to Promethium is, hey, we saw what happened with FTX. We don't want that to happen. Well, that was a horrible thing. And she got paid by that same horrible person. And I just think it is insane to me. Now, with everything else, I hadn't really watched all that. I don't know enough about Promethium to speak on it.
You might want to dig in a little bit, bro. It gets very interesting.
I watched that video because I talked to you about it. I watched it. I just don't know enough about the company. And so I don't want to speculate. So that's why I said I'm probably about 50-50. Sounds like legitimately could be a company that, hey, there's a lot of regulation in crypto. We want to put our foot in the door, and we don't want to get sued by the SEC. So we're just going to play by their rules in some way or shape or form. And we'll be here for when regulation takes off. We'll already have a seat at the table. That makes sense. But it also makes sense that this dude is a mole and sounds like a puppet for the SEC. Yes, 100%. I don't know. I don't know enough about them, and I don't know enough about their background to make my own personal educated guess. I can see both sides of the argument. I do want to also give a little shout out to the chat here. We see a bunch of new people here. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We have Puddles, Hovind Harrison, Hashhead, Del XP, S, Philippe Lima, Myra, FL Sunshine, The Vive Zombie, Double Alf Buck Prep, Charles 360, and also we had a $5 super chat from Elliot talking about tinfoil hat and stable coins, which we covered earlier. So,
you know why we covered earlier?
Why is that?
Because I already recognized that super chat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, double recognition. Double recognize. You get recognized 2 times. Also, Bravo 6 testnet as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Also, guys, if you want to read, that Twitter thread in its entirety, since I didn't do it because it was a lot. I pinned it in the comments of today's live show. Go check it out. Very, very intriguing. They got funding from the CCP when Congressman, I believe it's Luchtenmeyer, one of them, he sits on the security or national security committee or whatever. He asked him a question about the CCP. And so the Kaplan guy looks down and is just reading word for word off a script and then looks up when he's done. And then the congressman goes, well, it's nice to see that you can read from a script, but, and then it goes on and on. Go watch that. It was interesting to say the least. But it all comes down to corruption, right? And going back to this whole BlackRock thing, if BlackRock really wants to get a spot ETF, I think they're going to find a way to make it happen. They have the power, they have the pull to do it. Whether that's good or bad for crypto depends on what you care about more. You care more about making money in your portfolio going up, then it's a good thing. You care more about the ethos of cryptos, then it's probably a bad thing, right? But either way, crypto is here to stay. It's going to get the adoption. It'll be a lot faster if someone like BlackRock comes in and exposes it, but also going to be more ups and downs, more manipulation. And who knows if at any point crypto will become what Satoshi Nakamoto or Bitcoin will become what Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned it to become. That remains to be seen. And with that being said, guys, check out all of our social medias. Check out our sponsor of the channel. If you own a business and you're having issues with networking or IT, go to bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. And then...
So Jimmy gifted 10 memberships.
He did.
So a big shout out to you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also a few new people, Mitch Saw, Remington, Jason C, EF, Benny, Blue Eyes, Vanessa, Handerpants. Hola!
You know, I thought it's been a while since Jimmy opened up the membership gift box membership box. I thought for a reason you guys did something to upset him, but apparently you did not. Either way, with that being said, DJ, you know what time it is, bruh. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your time. Make sure to come back tomorrow. Same place, same time for Forest Friday. And for myself, Robin, and DJ, we love you all. Take care. Mañana. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They they polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin, and sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control